The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The double standard is obvious. We'll talk about the latest with Aaron Rodgers, the Jets, and the media's irresponsible treatment of both parties involved. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
They don't believe that they're the same old Jets.
I am 100% not falling for them again.
I think you've got a guy that's in love with the sport of football, and it was taken away from him.
I think it's going to be a mess.
He is in a point of life where he understands the pressure.
This team is in a position to win a championship.
3 games in 11 days to start.
I think they have the best roster, arguably, in the division.
Whether you love me or hate me, we are must-watch TV. Everybody knows that.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Hit the like button and, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you are an Asmaniac, you'll notice there is a brand new channel emoji to honor the 4% female audience. We now present the Jet Pink emoji, the logo highlighted in pink. Shout out to listener Carly for designing it and allowing us to use it. So shout out to our ever so growing 4% female demographic. Make sure you turn on gift receipts because you never know when someone is going to make it rain. With that being said, let's talk all things Jets. And joining me right now is one of my favorite guests. He is as fired up about the Jets as anyone out there. The co-founder of uStadium, Frankie Vitz, joins us now. What's up, Frankie? Uh-oh. Frankie, we can't hear you. Is the microphone off? Is this thing on? Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Nope. We do not hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now we hear you. There we go.
I am here. I'm here to ruin some people's days, by the way, so maybe it was best I would have been muted, but I am here, everyone. I'm here. Well, Jake, thanks for having me on, brother. Appreciate it.
Of course, my man. I'm glad we could actually hear you get into what we wanted to talk about. So you put out an epic rant yesterday on your Twitter account. I'm not going to say, hey, recreate that same rant about Aaron Rodgers and the media's coverage of the Jets and Rodgers. But basically, let's kind of start like this. When you look at the reaction from those not associated with the Jets to Rodgers skipping 2 days of June practice, where do you want to start? Did you think it would be as big of a deal as it currently is? Or did you know it was going to be crazy because, well, it's Aaron Rodgers, he's a lightning rod?
Well, at first, it wasn't really getting much traction, I feel. There was a few people that had picked it up, and it was basically being talked about a bit. Then as the day progressed, it got worse and worse and worse as these bigger media outlets, the kings of media, like they like to think of themselves, come out, and they think they could basically say whatever they want about anything because they don't like Aaron Rodgers. I didn't think this would be this bad, but the irresponsibility of these media outlets to basically create a false narrative that Rodgers is all of a sudden a bad leader now because he missed a day or 2 days, or what they like to refer to as a week. It could have been a month. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, he missed a month of practice, whatever. They could say whatever they want because they don't agree with him politically. That's really what a lot of this comes down to. Nobody said it, Jake. I didn't want to do a rant, honestly, but I'm like, you're one of the few that actually comes out and says stuff like this. And I felt like I had to come out and say, These media players, these pundits, they think that they can say whatever they want about Aaron when he does something that's not completely kosher. And they could just create any narrative they want because they don't like his take on COVID and the vax and whatnot. That's what's going on here. They have an axe to grind. They have a bone to pick. They are waiting. They're sitting there. Literally, they're sitting in the grass. They're like hyenas. They're just sitting and waiting for a vulnerable moment from King Aaron Rodgers, and they're going to come after him. And that's what's going on. It's pathetic. It really is. It is. The guy's been an awesome leader. He's done everything. Jake, he's come to everything imaginable. Did you think he was going to show up to any of this stuff before we got Aaron? I thought we were getting a diva. That's what I thought.
Well, it's funny you say that because that was the narrative about the guy, right? You know, bad guy, won't be at anything, and he's been at everything. He's gone above and beyond, as you said. And I think the most frustrating part is it's the first time that Aaron gave them something that they could run with, because facts don't matter when it comes to the media for the most part. In 2024, they're not going to bring up the fact that he was at 10 of the 12 practices total. He just happened to miss these two and told the Jets a while ago that he didn't plan on being there. They won't bring up the fact he was voted by his own teammates a year ago as most inspirational, Dennis Bird Award winner, for basically having a crazy comeback from what was thought to be a season-ending injury. They won't bring up the fact that he took the largest pay cut in professional sports history before the year started last year, $35 million. And like, I can keep going, but like any real Jet fans who follows the team knows this. And it's just frustrating because I think the point you made at the top, Frankie, is so good. Like even the verbiage, right? He skipped minicamp this week. That implies it's more than 2 days. If it was so important, why'd the Jets cut it from 3 to 2 like every other team in the league does? You know, like when you hear Aaron Rodgers missed minicamp this week, you're thinking, oh, it's 5 or 6 days. He missed 2 practices without pads on in June.
Jake, this guy has done everything in my book to be considered a great leader. Everything. He has shocked me. I was saying it yesterday. He has shocked me as a fan in terms of what he's done since he's been here, how many things he's showed up to. When he was on one leg, freaking, did you see him in the cart just trying to get through, trying to go to the sidelines? He didn't have to do that. Guys his caliber don't do that. Tom Brady's, Peyton Manning's don't do that on a new team that's struggling. The team was failing last year. He still wanted to be out there. He still showed up to practice. He put his own health in jeopardy, his long-term health, forever time with his Achilles to be out there to maybe come back and play. And he misses 2 days, of which he had been, I don't call it unexcused. To me, it's excused if the team knew about it. I don't know. Maybe the tomato, but to me, it's excused. And I'm sounding like a homer, and I usually never do. It's usually, usually me sounding the opposite here. But I'm being real about this. It's pathetic, and it's because there are people in the media that are just waiting for this guy to stumble, to hiccup.
Yep. And look, you want to criticize Aaron Rodgers? Like, just be fair. Like, criticize him for things you could criticize him for, right? Or wait until the games actually start. And if he doesn't play well, that's fair game. But you just have so many people with an axe to grind with this guy because they don't align with him politically. It's where it all stems from. Pre-COVID, no one had a bad thing to say about Aaron Rodgers. Like, we as Jet fans, we hated Tom Brady on the field. We didn't hate him personally. That's how people felt about Aaron Rodgers in the NFC North if you were a Bears fan. But now it's like all these people just jumping on, the Aaron Rodgers is the worst campaign. And you really see it when you like watch it day in, day out like we do as Jet fans, man. Like it really is just nauseating. And yeah, look, would I prefer Aaron to be there? For sure. But I'm not going to freak out in mid-June. He missed 2 practices without pads on when he has a track record for 2 years of doing everything right. And if he told the Jets, like Saleh said he did weeks ago, that he was not going to be here, then it's such a non-story. And then the media runs with it. And of course, there's never any fact checking or there's never any, objectivity. It's just hot takes and people that have axes to grind with Aaron or the Jets. Cause it's like the perfect combo too, by the way. It's LOL Jets with Aaron Rodgers. It's like the ultimate like cocktail of hate and trolls and LOLness that you could put together. So you factor all that and you have a nothing burger story that feels way bigger than it actually is in June.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jake, have you seen any articles? I haven't. Maybe your audience has. Has anyone seen any articles talking about what a great leader Aaron's been since he's gotten here? Has there been one? I've been looking for it. I swear to you. I've been looking over the last year and a half. I'm like, am I going to see something about Aaron being a great leader? Because to me, he has. He's shocked me. I thought we were going to get someone that was going to be a diva, that wasn't going to want to show up, that wanted to be in the New York market and wanted to promote his image and what he wanted to say. And that's why he came here. And he could care, he doesn't give two craps about the Jets or practice. I think I'm wrong, right? I mean, I think I've been proven wrong on that initial thought about Aaron. He's been perfect as a leader. He hasn't said a bad thing about Robert Saleh. And I was saying yesterday, he has a lot there that if he wants to go to, he didn't try to put Zach under the bus one time. Come on, what the guy missed two things, and if he wants to go on, on an ayahuasca retreat, please go. I don't care. If he wants to go and smoke weed by himself with his buddies because that helps him, do what you want to do. Seriously, to me, he's allowed a pass or two, but to the media, he's not because they don't like his thoughts on COVID, like he's some politician. It's crazy, man. I can't even believe we're talking about this.
Yeah. I mean, it's always something with the Jets, but this is just like, people, I mean, enough. Calm down. Like, you're looking for a story. Just wait. The Jets will give you a real story. This is not one of them. And like, here's the stat I'll bring up to you, Frankie. Aaron Rodgers did not participate in minicamp in 2011 or 2020. 2011, there was the lockout. 2020 was COVID. He did not participate in minicamp for the Packers in 2021. He won the MVP in each of those seasons. So out of his 4 MVP seasons, 3 of them came where he didn't have a minicamp. And guess what? He was just fine. I think Aaron Rodgers, who is 40, who is the master of this offense, that is his offense, who's been at everything, I think he'll be just fine without 2 practices without pads on in June.
I agree 100%. I could care less. And I cannot believe how many national outlets have picked this up. I mean, you posted on your show earlier. I didn't even know Mike Francesa and the Mad Dog are talking about this. I mean, this is hit like radio outlets that really don't even focus that much about like NFL football per se all day. They're talking about this. This is like a national storyline.
And they're just wrong. Russo actually was spot on.
Russo was good, yeah. But Russo I agreed with.
This was Mike on his podcast, for those who missed the first show today. And it's like, what planet do you live on if you actually believe what's coming out of your mouth?
But what he did yesterday just set them back again, because it shows that he has zero respect for this organization and this head coach. Zero. You don't do this to your head coach. And forget all the extracurricular activity that is part of your life. Put it away for a year. Forget all the interviews every week. Forget what's going on with vaccines. Forget what's going on in the political world. Forget all that and just be a quarterback for 1 damn year. That's all. The first stamp that they're going to put on this season, not to come out of minicamp and say, oh, you know what? We're guns blazing. He's healthy. The offensive line looks good. We are going to be a machine. Instead of that, it's he's not here for no reason. The team isn't the problem. He's the problem.
He's the problem. He's the only chance they have to be a good team. What's the solution?
Yeah, he's the
Zach
solution.
Wilson, Sam Darnold. Like, we tried going down the route of drafting our own quarterback. They can't get it right. Aaron Rodgers wanted to be here. The roster is stacked at every position besides one. He played 4 plays last year. They still won 7 games with no quarterback. So, Mike, last I checked, Rodgers is not the problem. And like the other ridiculous thing that he said there is that the Jets are stamping their season by it starting with Rodgers not being there. It's the offseason, buddy. When training camp starts, that's when the season begins. Training camp is not till July 24th.
Mind you.
What are we talking about, Mike? Good God, I get it. You hate the Jets, but you got to be better than that. That's just brutal.
And he says Aaron turned his back on Robert Saleh. Aaron has only defended Robert Saleh. I want Aaron to be more rough on Saleh. I want him to be more honest about what he thinks about Saleh. I actually think, you probably think the same. I think the only reason Saleh's here is because of Aaron.
Yes.
Because if Aaron wanted him gone last year, at the end of last year, he would have been out of here. So he's turned his back on a guy that you and I agree, a head coach, wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Aaron. Makes a lot of sense, Mike.
Crazy. He's the problem. He took the largest pay cut in team sports history. He had a lower cap hit than Zach Wilson last year. He's done everything right. He's tried to recruit players to the Jets. He's been a good leader. He was a great teammate to Zach last year. He flew back to be with the team when he was on, crutches, as you brought up earlier, Frankie. Like, it's just, and like, none of this matters, right? Like, no one's ever going to actually listen to what we're saying and actually be like, oh, that's a good point. Maybe I should take back my Aaron Rodgers is, the devil take that I had on my national show take. Like, I like, that's not going to happen. But the only way they could respond is just a win. And I'll tell you what, Aaron missing 2 practices in June will have no impact on the Jets record. But at the end of the day, now they just got to win. That's all they could do. And they have the team to do it. You pray he's healthy and we go from there.
Yeah, and I'll say one last thing. There are athletes in the media that when they say things politically, nobody says a word. They love it. They actually want them to say more things politically because it aligns with their politics. When it doesn't align with their politics, then they want you to shut up and play or shut up and dribble, whatever. Interesting, right? I saw I don't need to get into the players, but we know the players I'm talking about. They want certain players to talk because they agree. And they don't want other players to talk at all. And when they do, they get pissy because they disagree. And then they're going to create narratives. This is middle school cafeteria stuff. And Jake, nobody's talking besides you. Nobody's talking about it. That this is where it stems from. I want to get down to the problem. The problem is the media's portrayal of athletes that they politically disagree with is a big problem. And it happens on both sides. I'm not just pointing at one side or the other, but it happens predominantly on one side, and you know which side that is. So whatever you agree, and listen, you could have political thoughts. I have thoughts. I've had thoughts that are right. I've had thoughts that are wrong. It's okay. Aaron Rodgers can say what he wants. If he goes on Joe Rogan, is some stuff irresponsible? Yes. Does everybody say irresponsible things? Yes. That's part of a discussion. There's irresponsible things said. I said on this show, Robert Saleh is going to get fired after the season, that I thought it would happen over 50%. That wasn't the most responsible thing I've said, but I've said irresponsible things. It's okay. But don't create a narrative on people because, oh my God, they said an opinion that 40% of the country has, mind you. Come on.
It's silly, man. And, that kind of is a perfect segue here. What actually is a story is Hassan Reddick not being at mandatory minicamp because he wasn't at any of the voluntary stuff, unlike Aaron Rodgers, who was at everything. So that's not even being discussed nationally, nor is CeeDee Lamb not being with his team, Brandon Ayuk not being with his team. We could keep going. T. Higgins not being with his team. But instead, Aaron Rodgers, who's done everything right for 2 years, but missed 2 practices in June, and not like he bailed and didn't tell anyone, gave the Jets notice this was coming. That's the story. So that drives me crazy. But as far as Hassan Reddick goes, that's a real story. What are your thoughts on where things stand right now, and what's the solution here with Reddick and the Jets?
Listen, I think when we acquired Hassan, I think there was some understanding, but there wasn't a full understanding as to how this contractual situation would play out. I think the Jets and Joe Douglas specifically wanted to use their ability to negotiate, which is a plus for Joe. It's probably his biggest strength in these sort of deals, to slow play it a little bit. I mean, you don't want to necessarily extend someone or give them more money than they deserve necessarily or they're valued at without waiting and seeing. I think they're both playing a little bit of hardball. Joe's playing it, and so is Hassan. It's part of negotiation tactics. It's just how it goes in sports sometimes. I'll say this, and it's a little bit of an outside thought. I did think when we did acquire Hassan Reddick, I saw him talk about it, and he didn't tweet about it for a while. I thought that he felt like Philly did him wrong in how they maybe went behind his back to trade him because they didn't want to pay him. So I think now that he's here, he's like, I don't want this team to also do me wrong. So I better get paid ASAP. I'm not even stepping a foot on a practice field and twisting something without having the money in the bank, quote unquote. I will say I don't think we should pay him what Danielle Hunter's getting paid, though. I've heard some speculation about that extension and what it could be yearly. I think Danielle Hunter is worth more on a value chart. We have to figure out what we're going to do with some of this money, but do what you need to do to have him play on the field for at least a few seasons. I would rather play him 1 year. Ideally, Jake, he plays this year. How he performs is how he gets paid. But he's not going to want to do that. So, I mean, I feel like these discussions are happening more and more in the NFL too.
He needs to show up to eventually get paid. His money's not guaranteed. I wonder if they guaranteed his $14.5 million, gave him a chance to make more money with incentives in his contract, and said, hey, we won't franchise tag you at the end of the year, so you're going to hit unrestricted free agency. We'd like to keep you, but you don't have to worry about us limiting your earning potential because you are going to hit the market. I wonder if that would be enough because, based on what's out there, where Connor Hughes reported yesterday, it sounds like Reddick agreed to playing on his deal and then now is having second thoughts. So I wonder if that is the solution here, where you give him a chance to make more money. It's guaranteed. So if he has a Carl Lawson situation, he still gets his money for this year. And that's probably enough to bring him in. And look, you're not worried about a defensive end missing like the offseason program. His job is to rush the quarterback. I'm still convinced when the Jets line up week 1 against the Niners, Reddick's going to be there.
I think he will too. And I love that idea. I do think that's a great idea. I think just guaranteeing him 1 year is maybe good enough for him, and it's definitely good enough for us. I just don't know if it'd be good enough for him. As these things sort of play out, I think the agents get in these players' ears. What are you doing? Why are you going to play on a 1 year? Why don't you guarantee yourself at least 2, maybe 3? I mean, that's always going to be the case, especially with these vets that know they don't have another contract looming out there. So I'm a little, I'm not worried, I would say, but I'm a little bit up in the air as to how this will play out from a financial perspective for us, because I think we're going to end up probably paying him a little more than he probably deserves, to be honest, but it's fine. We need him on the field.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line as we talk with Frankie V from uStadium. If you're tuning in late, we added a new emoji for the Asmaniacs. Shout out to the 4% female audience. You now have your own emoji as a sign of thank you as we continue to tap in to the female demographic. We need 164 more channel members for our 34th emoji. So turn on gift receipts because you never know when someone might make it rain. As far as some other takeaways here from OTA/minicamp, give me some guys you thought raised their stock in your eyes, Frankie, based on what was reported through the offseason program.
Well, listen, I think Braylon Allen this year is going to be a monster for us. I just think the involvement, the way that he's been able to move out there, I really think that he's going to be somebody that can really take, I'm not talking about 10 to 12 carries. He might have games, I think, where he's getting 20-plus carries for us, and we're utilizing Brees more out of the backfield and in more of scat situations. So I think Braylon's been someone that I foresee him being a player that's going to be extremely valuable to an offense that's having injury issues across the board. Injury issues, guys coming back from injury. It's just always like a timing thing. And I still think we have a little bit of a lack of depth at the receiver position. And listen, this Kenny Yeboah guy, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't. But what I've seen and some things I've heard and some people I've talked to about it, he apparently looks phenomenal out there. And if we want to run out with two tight end sets or put in 3 tight ends at times, like whatever, make it happen. If this guy can play, let him play. I'm always down for playmakers. So I think Yeboah, based on what I've seen and read and saw, I feel like he's someone the team's always liked. He gets the offense, and give him a chance.
They have 3 competent pass-catching tight ends.
They do.
They really do. And then obviously, look, you look at the receiver situation. It's no surprise Garrett Wilson was a monster every time the media was out watching him. He's a superstar, and if he stays healthy, he could have a Devontae Adams-like season with Aaron, assuming Aaron is also healthy. But outside of Garrett Wilson, you look at the receiver room. Mike Williams is on the Brees timeline, should be ready for week 1. After that, Xavier Gibson turned some heads with his improvement year over year, so that was good to see. Lazard was very hot and cold. Hopefully, he could be like a wide receiver 4. He's never going to live up to that contract, but
wide receiver 12.
Yeah, like with Aaron back, maybe he could, make him like passable for the gains Mike Williams could potentially miss. And look, I like Malachi Corley a lot. You and I were on the MegaCast when they took him in Vegas. So I'm hoping that he can learn the offense quick and be a part of it. Like, I think they got enough between Garrett and the other names I mentioned, the tight end room being what it is. And really, the biggest thing is, if your O-line keeps Aaron upright, he makes everyone better anyway. And I think the Jets are going from one of the worst lines in football last year to at least competent, if not above average, if those guys stay healthy up front.
Definitely. I agree 100%. I think Olu looks really good too, man. That kid can move. And you see that there's a path for him to really develop out even more into his body. And he's going to be someone I think that's going to be here for a long, long time at that left tackle spot for us. DeBrickashaw and I think he could be even better than DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Not even kidding. I think he's going to be one of the best left tackles in football at a point. He's a Laramie Tunsil style. He's got some Teron Armstead in him. I'm telling you, the kid's going to be a stud if he can, develop out. He needs to get a little stronger. But I think Olu was what we needed in that draft. And Malachi, I'm curious to see how fast he can get up and running is my thought with him, because he didn't have to really be the most precise route runner at Western Kentucky due to the fact that they were just trying to get him the ball in any possible spot on the field. There wasn't much of him having to do dig routes and running 9-yard hitches and whatnot. Like, he just basically just had to get on the field and just give him the ball. So I'm curious with Aaron how that'll play out and how fast he could pick up the playbook. But I think he will. You listen to him. Aaron loved him when we drafted him. You listen to him, speak and talk about football like Olu. Just a high-quality room of guys. That's the one thing. But Aaron missed 2 days of minicamp, though. Guys, gals, it's over. Sell your season tickets.
It's unreal, man. It really is. And look, for what it's worth, no one's surprised by this. But when Aaron was there, he looked like Aaron Rodgers, which makes sense because he's one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's Aaron heads. I was saying this in a Twitter space, which I'm trying to not do as much of because those things can last like 7 hours, and you're like, where the hell did the day go? It's like, but there are people that believe, and I was telling you, there are Aaron Rodgers heads that stand by that he is the best quarterback of all time. Like, bar none. I'm telling you, I'll send you stuff on it. Like, there's Twitter accounts with it. Like, they go through stats, and the foundation to their belief is his touchdown to interception ratio is better than anybody by far in NFL history. He does not throw interceptions, and he maximizes how many touchdowns he can throw a year. And he's better at that than any quarterback ever by a wide margin.
Well, just the eye test, Frankie. Like, if you're like before Mahomes, Aaron's the most talented quarterback I've ever watched. I'm not saying he's the best because Brady's got the resume, but as far as just like playing the position, before Mahomes, Aaron was always the guy I looked at and said, that's the most talented player I've ever seen play that position.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, the torque he gets on that football, and I know there were accounts that were saying, oh, the Achilles, it doesn't look like he's putting much pressure on it when he's throwing. I mean, come on, man. I
know who those people are? Scared Dolphins and Bills fans.
Yeah,
that's what it is. They're afraid because the only thing that could stop the Jets is Aaron not being healthy, because roster-wise, they're the best team in the AFC East.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you right now, Garrett stays healthy all year with a full season of Aaron or 15 games of Aaron. That kid's going to have a big year. I'm talking a big year to the point that Garrett Wilson, I had a take on the uStadium app. He'll be top 5 in yards this year, and he'll be considered a top 5 receiver in the NFL by the beginning of next season. Garrett Wilson is, I redid some tape watching on him or some highlight stuff that I go through sometimes. He's incredible. He can do everything. He doesn't have a weakness. The way he's able to get yak, the way he's able to get in and out of his routes, he's so smooth and fluid. He can be a deep ball guy if he needs to, obviously. That was like sort of what his game was supposed to be coming out. but he looks so good underneath. He's just really, he to me is a newer age version of what Devontae Adams was early on, and I think he could be even better from an athletic standpoint. He's more athletic than Devontae Adams ever was.
You just look at what he's done with the quarterbacks he's played with. 8 different quarterbacks in 2 years, 1,000 yards each time. Like, you just and think about the amount of plays where he's open and couldn't get the ball just because they had incompetency either up front or, Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, or Trevor Siemian are throwing to him, or it's crazy, man.
It's mind-boggling, Jake. He was even able to get 900, 800 yards with that quarterback situation. That was, people don't realize how bad that quarterback room was. Like, it was the worst quarterback room, one of the worst quarterback rooms ever. Yeah. In NFL history, like
people think I'm kidding. I'm with you. Like, people think I'm just being, you're just being the radio guy, hyperbole. No, they have the analytics to show it's one of the worst quarterback rooms of all time.
Yes. Yeah, with no experience. It's not like you have a quarterback room with players. At least you might have a vet in there who's that picture of Zach just cracks me up.
Hey,
a crackhead.
Hey, everyone. Here's quarterback efficiency from 2021 to 2023. Look where Zach Wilson is. Look where the rest of the league is. You have to have played a minimum of 300 plays over the last 3 seasons. Look where Zach is. Look where the rest of the league is. Obviously, Aaron is in the upper half, even with a quote-unquote down 22 season, which, by the way, if he has those same exact stats with the Jets this past year, they're 10-7 and they're in the playoffs, but no one wants to talk about that. But just look at the gap between Zach Wilson and even Desmond Ridder or Carson Wentz. This is insane.
You could fit 5 more Zachs in there too if you want to. It's
crazy. Great. Look at it, Hawk. Look at it. Hawk's one of the biggest Zach Wilson truthers we have, and that's why, as you could see in the picture of Zach there's a hawk on his shoulder.
Oh, I thought there was maybe Jalen Hurts snuck behind there. But yeah, man, it was a tough pill to swallow when I admitted to myself not finally, actually, I wasn't late on it, but it was tough to admit that to yourself that Zach's done. It's over. There's nothing I'm going to see at this point. There's nothing I'm going to look forward to with his development here. He's done. It's over. That's tough. Second overall pick, a player that a lot of fans thought would change the culture here, especially on offense, and it was really tough. But hey, on to new and better days.
This guy stinks.
It's tough.
Your stinks drop is epic, by the way. Yes.
He stinks.
Tough. Can I tell you who doesn't stink?
Bobby Midnight.
Well, Bobby Midnight is amazing, and we'll get to him because he had a doctor's appointment today.
All right.
But let me, and so he missed the first show. Do you want to know who doesn't stink? Do you want to know who is the current love of my life, Frankie V?
That's a close one. I don't know. I feel like you got a few.
Take a guess. Who do you think that could be?
I'm gonna guess. I think that Gary guy and you have a good relationship, man. I think that's who you're talking about.
Wrong answer. Juan Soto, baby, coming through for the Yankees. Yankees lead 3-2. They were being no hit into the 7th, down 2-0. They're now up 3-2. Let's go.
That's my team right there. Best team in New York.
The New York Yankees, baby. Juan.
He had a home run?
He had a base hit to right that scored Trent Christian.
That was his first game back, right?
He's played this whole series.
Oh, he has? I didn't even notice.
Well, because the Yankees have been up by 10 runs every game. Crazy. Anyway, let's open it up. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Chef Kevin starts us off. He says, glad you're doing better, Bobby. The last few days, my son Kevin Jr. keeps telling me he can't believe he met you. You're a celebrity. Focus on your health. So for those who missed the first show, no Bobby. So people were like, where's Bobby? Well, it turns out Bobby had a doctor's appointment, and we're glad that everything is okay with our guy Bobby. How do I know this? Well, we'll find out because we could ask him.
Well, I can't wear my freaking hat. It's hot, my balls will sweat. Oh, look, I have a fan. I'm Bobby.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. Yay! Woo! I'm sorry, guys. I had a doctor's appointment and I slept great last night.
Let's
Hi,
go.
Frankie V. How are you doing today?
Bobby, I miss you, man. So you're feeling good? Everything's good?
Yes, I got some sleep last night. Do I sound better?
You sound a lot better.
Yeah.
My doctor gave me cough medicine today, so hopefully it's working. So that's good. So I'm back. I'm back, guys. I will have a show after Jake. So
Hell yeah. Frankie,
Hey,
if you think Twitter spaces are long, the Bobby Midnight Show, it just doesn't end. Like, like the Twitter space might eventually end. The Bobby Midnight Show just goes on and on. It's like the Journey song.
Show from last night with Craig from Australia. You got that clip?
I don't have that clip, Bobby. I
Okay,
do have
show
this
him-
clip though. Here,
Yeah.
here, Frankie. This is a little sample of what the Bobby Midnight Show is all about.
You know what it is? They can't get the taxes out of that in Airbnb because of Zell and all that stuff. They were hard, so they outlawed it. That's basically what it is.
That must have been recent because I stayed in an Airbnb like maybe about 2.5 years ago.
Was it in Manhattan?
Huh?
Was it in Manhattan?
No, I was in Brooklyn.
Okay, yeah, I know Brooklyn and Queens has Airbnbs. If you're looking to go out there, you
yeah.
definitely could.
Oh,
Like, look
okay.
into, like you could look in, I think, to Long Island City. I don't know if they have hotels and whatnot there, but Long Island City is like a Manhattan, brand new Manhattan. Like there's a brand new skyline. I know people that.
That's awesome.
Bobby, what are you singing, Bobby?
Nothing. I love that one. And then what about the one with the mouse? Do you still have that one?
I don't know if I have that one.
Oh,
Gary in the middle looks so confused in that.
Well, I couldn't talk.
Here's another clip from the Bobby Show.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a show.
And the Yankees are coming back. Yeah, I knew they're gonna have problems with like rookie pitches. They always do. Once they take out those pitches, hitting galore. That's
right.
Worried. Yeah, I wasn't worried. No.
So, Bobby, you got some medicine for the cough. That's good to hear.
Yeah, it sounds better, doesn't it?
You sound a lot better, yeah.
And then I'm happy the Celtics are sweeping ass of the Dallas Mavericks.
You're happy. I don't want to see Boston win.
I do.
Why? Because you live in Vermont?
Well, no. My friend Todd's a Celtic fan.
Ah.
Listen to this story. My Jack, right, Davis, he's married to his wife, right? I had a crush on her first, Lisa.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they're the same age. I'm an old fart. Remember that? We went over with Carly. She's younger than me. So we can, So when they moved up, he was a Knicks fan. Then he turned into a Celtic fan. They go to every home
That
game.
dance was phenomenal, by the way, to that drop.
Well,
there
that
was like
was
no
fun.
better dance you could do than that. That was like an epic dance, Bobby.
Well, there's more dancing. I get up and dance and shake my butt. When they play YMCA at, you ever go to Yankee Stadium?
Oh, yeah.
When they play the YMCA song?
Classic.
Where are you from? You live in Texas, right?
No, Westchester.
Oh,
Remember? Yeah. White
you went
Plains.
to- yeah, you go to Right Playland.
Yeah. Tiki
Yeah, I love
bar
White-
over there, yes.
Yeah, but I like the ice cream cones. It's so
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Bobby, give me a
Vanilla
little
ice cream
YMCA.
swirls.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's
Play
fun
the
to
song.
stay at the. I don't have the song. I'll get
Oh, I
copyrighted.
thought you had the song.
No, I can't. YouTube won't let me play it.
Yes, they. Oh, you get. Well, you can
Nope.
play 3 seconds of it.
Well, that's not enough to do the YMCA.
Okay, let's go. You sing it and I do it.
All right. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. YMCA.
My arms are so short. I tell you, I had a problem the other night picking up my mouse. Right, so I told Gay to take it over. He says, "Oh, you've been taking a whole half an hour to pick. I can pick it up in 3 seconds." He got big arms. I had to use my broom, and I finally got it.
Bobby, you need to get a track pad. So you can just lay your arm there. You don't have to do too much movement.
I got a wireless now. I used to have one that plugged it to my computer. So, Yeah, I'm back, guys. I'm rolling.
All right, and your show starts right after this show ends.
Yeah, everybody says, "Oh, what a Bobby show," so I guess I've got to go on.
That's right. The
Are
show
you
must
gonna
go on,
join
Bobby.
me tonight? Are you
I
gonna
have
join?
I have an event right after the show, Bobby. Maybe I'll call in from my phone.
What kind of event are you going to?
It's a top secret private event.
You want to join my show, Frankie, once in a while?
Yeah, send me a link. I'll join.
Yeah, it's called Bobby Woodruff, and then it's Bobby Midnight. Then you just, when I'm live, just press that button.
You're going till
right
midnight? 5 to midnight, Bobby?
Oh, I don't know. No. I'm not. Well, one time I went 5 hours, remember? 5 hours. And the next hour I went 4 hours. So
that's right.
Okay,
Bobby,
guys.
We'll see you on your show.
I'll stay in the background if somebody else comes on special.
All right. If anyone sends in channel memberships or super chats, we'll have Bobby read it.
Okay, I'll stay in back for that. I could do that.
Cool.
Well, you know I have my own YouTube show. If I'm awake, I'm going live. Unless Jake has a show, I'm Bobby.
Bobby Midnight, ladies and gentlemen. Glad Bobby's doing well. We were worried, Frankie. When Bobby didn't call into my morning stream, I was like, uh-oh. People were very concerned.
What happened? He just had a little incident, or?
He's been dealing with a cough, and I'm glad he got it checked out.
Yeah, of course.
Yep, no doubt. Today's show presented by Huga House. Get the hat Otani's wearing, or Tyler Conklin's wearing, or Kevin from The Office, or the overrated Josh Allen, or the great Shane Gillis, or Aaron Rodgers. HugaHouse.com. Promo code Asman at checkout, and you will save 15%. Buy one hat, get the second hat, 30% off. Shout out to Huga House for being a part of today's program. Comments, questions, super chats, more of your calls right now. Let's go to David, who's up next on the Gusbuster Hotline. David, what do you got for us?
Jake, Frankie, how you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
I just got a lot on my mind. You know, I see a lot of media trashing the Jets, and I just feel like it's two things. It might be a little jealousy, and it could also be that, you know, it's slow. It's June. It's not a lot to talk about. So I think they're just hitting us, but I really do think the Jets are underrated this year. I do think we have the quarterback. We have a lot of the stuff we haven't seen yet. Obviously, the offensive line is not where we're guessing it should be a great offensive line, but we haven't seen it yet. But as far as what we did in the draft, free agency, and the 5 years that Douglas took to get here, I think he needed some time. You know, we had the Le'Veon Bell mess. We had we had Alex Lewis as our, you know, if you remember, the 2018 offensive line was horrible. We had to build it from the ground up. And we kind of seen a few guys. You know, I do like our young core. We like AVT, Brees. We have Garrett Wilson, Sauce. Like, there's a lot of guys that we are very hopeful for, you know. And I do like Will McDonald. So this is kind of where I called in, because I like Hassan Reddick. I think he's a good third edge rusher. Like, we need 3 or 4. He's a good third guy. I like Will McDonald. I do think he will take a second-year leap, like Jermaine Johnson.
David, Reddick is a lot better than a third pass rusher. He's been one of the best rushers in the league the last 5 years.
Well, I will say this. What do you think about Jermaine Johnson's second year?
I thought he was good. I mean, he had a Pro Bowl level season. He made the Pro Bowl as an alternate.
Will you accept that from Will McDonald? Like, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I don't know if that's even fair to ask Will McDonald to do that. If he comes close to that, you'd sign for that right now, because you assume you have Reddick, who's been a guy who's had at least 10 or more sacks 4 years in a row. This guy is phenomenal. He's a game wrecker. That's why they got him.
Right. So I do believe. I mean, I think Reddick could be our best pass rusher. That's for sure. I do think, you know, I'm worried about age a little bit. But as far as the contract, like, if we could just stay with that contract, which I doubt, it would be a great pickup, you know. But if he wants 25 million, 30 million, I'd rather him sit. You know, I'd rather not pay him that money unless it's a 1-year contract. But at the end of the day, I want to pay our guys. In a Super Bowl year, I would do a 1-year deal. I don't know if I want to handcuff myself on a 3-year deal with Hassan Reddick.
I don't think they're going to do that either, David. So I don't think you have to worry about that. But I think, as we talked about earlier, you know, if you could give them incentives to make more money, say, hey, we're not going to franchise tag you. You'll be a free agent. You'll have a chance to see your true value. Go out there, ball out. We'll pay you. If not, someone will pay you. Like, I think that's how they ultimately solve this.
Do you think he's really going to sit out this year, or do you think it's just business?
Just business, man. He's not. All a player could do is what he's done so far. He's not missing regular season games.
So who do you think out of Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald, who was the better prospect coming out of college? Like, if we just take it from a college standpoint.
Jermaine was mocked in the top 10 in a lot of mocks. Will McDonald, I mean, some people had a first round grade on him. Rodgers, I remember, had a second round grade on him, high second round grade.
Right. So because I think Will McDonald, I don't know if you heard that story, his draft profile when he came out of college, he didn't have a lot of high school in football. So like he didn't even know the rules to football in high school. A lot of these great players like Sauce, if you look at Sauce's career, especially when he was young, he was in Pee Wee football 7, 8, 9 years old. A lot of these great players played 7, 8, 9 years old. I think Will McDonald, it's a lot of hopeful thinking. We hope he becomes what we think we are. He has great traits as a pass rusher. And I do trust this coaching staff to bring the best out of our defensive players. I think every defensive player we brought in kind of exceeded expectation with Quincy, JFM, Huff. There's a lot of guys that outproduce, even DJ Reed, Michael Carter, Tony Adams. So I do trust the defensive side. I'm not too worried about Hassan Reddick. I don't think he's going to sit out, but I also think that if there was a player to sit out, I don't mind it to be defense.
Yeah, 100%, David. Good call. I mean, Frankie, just your thoughts on Will McDonald taking a lead, because I think the last point the caller made about the faith you have in the defensive coaching staff developing guys is a great one, because that's why I have a lot of confidence that Kinlaw will be a good player for them. Like, I think Will McDonald will take a lead. Jermaine will get better. Like, I already know Reddick is great. Like, I'm not really worried about the Jets defensive line because they have a proven track record.
Yeah, I agree with you on all that. I think the thing with Will McDonald I'm struggling with is just, is he going to be able to put that weight on and still keep that explosiveness? He is explosive and he is that quick and agile for an edge, but he is thin and he's lean. When you puts on some more weight, that may take away from some of his agility and some of his explosiveness. I do see things from him. I have seen things in games where he's popped and he's been able to cover, 3 yards in a very short amount of distance. As they say, I just don't know if, getting Reddick and having Jermaine there and the way that we like to, sub in and sub out our outside edge guys and inside interior players. I don't know if he's going to be able to get enough in-game snaps for him to develop in year 2. So we maybe have to wait a little bit longer for Will to sort of develop. And I don't know, but I am very curious as to the pass rush in general. I'm a big advocate. If there's one thing I'd just love in football and I think is the top priority for a team outside of quarterback, it's the pass rush. I think that alleviates a lot of problems all across the board. So I want to see guys, even like Quinnen Williams, I want him to get double-digit sacks. I want Kinlaw to have 5 or 6 sacks. Those sacks lead to turnovers, giveaways. So we have to do what we can if the players up front aren't just getting to the quarterback themselves in one-on-one situations. They have to do stunts. They have to, bring certain blitz packages to the table and see what they can do. I'm trying to beat Patrick Mahomes. I'm trying to beat Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I mean, those are the type of players that we have to go into, we have to go into their house, thinking this way, go into their house and just beat them up. How do you do that? The easiest way is with a pass rush. So I hope Will McDonald could come on. I think Jermaine, if I had to make a call, Jermaine will do better than people think, even people that think he'll do well. I think Will McDonald's going to have another wash sort of year, if I had to predict.
Well, that's why they pay you the big bucks to predict.
Oh, yeah.
Curly Norman,
like that.
super chat for his free channel super chat for being a member for 1 full month.
I'm going to that game, too.
I have booked my flight to Arizona for the game against the Cards. If anyone else is going, Frankie V, let's meet and get that Jet chant going. Curly, join my Patreon if you're not on there. We got a bunch of Jet fans that live out there or are going to that game. So a meetup is being planned, Curly. So definitely recommend that as a way to connect with Jet fans if you're not already on the Patreon, which you might be, because I don't know. Bobby with a super chat. Bobby Midnight, baby. Jake and Frankie V and everyone in chat are awesome. I believe you mean chat, Bob, but we appreciate that. Shout out to the chat. Chat's been great today. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Turn on gift receipts. Nobody has made it rain so far, Frankie. Have you noticed that? No channel memberships have been flying off the shelves.
Last time I was here, you had like I think like almost a record high. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you know what? I'll just buy 5 memberships right now because I'm in a giving mood. All right, the media is out to get the Jets. We won't stand for that on this show. We'll call it how it is. We'll give Jet fans a place to actually get fair coverage of the team. All right. So to honor that, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do it myself as soon as this loads, which right now it is not. But when it does, will it be raining memberships? Question from Dave, or not even a question, a comment. Even if the Jets win, they need a change at head coach. Dave, if they win, they're not firing the coach. What's your definition of win? Like if they win, if they go like 9-8, then yeah, they go 9-8, lose in the wild card round or miss the playoffs. Maybe it is coaching, and Douglas could argue, hey, I built the right team. Give me a chance to hire another coach. But like, come on, man. If the Jets win the AFC East to win a playoff game, Robert Saleh was the head coach in 2025.
Yeah, I think so too. I will ask you though, do you think he would deserve an extension though if that was the case? I mean, I've heard fans saying if he wins 2 playoff games and gets to, let's say, the AFC Championship game and they lose, would you extend him or would you have him on his last year?
I think he gets an extension if they win multiple playoff games.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying that. I think
Rex got an extension after they went to the championship game his rookie year.
Yeah, true. I think you have to in a way because you don't want a coach that has, quote unquote, been successful the year before in some way. Being on this sort of like lame duck-ish year, it's kind of strange to do. But yeah, I'm just curious. I hear a lot of fans saying that. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we are making it rain. I have just purchased 5 channel memberships
for
the people. Hell yeah! All right, here we go. Let me pull up the list of names here because I haven't checked the chat in just a little bit. Hold on one sec. Holy hell! I didn't even need to buy 5 memberships. You see what just happened here? Dre with a 20 spot.
Wow.
William with a 5 spot. Mike D's nuts with a 5 spot. All of a sudden, 35 channel members just came through. Holy hell, Dre, you are too kind, my man. Wow, that is unreal. This is for you, Dre. Let me get
that's
to all
big
the names
baller
here.
Status, Dre.
Holy hell, Dre, a $20 membership spot. Are you nuts? Yeah, the answer is yes. He's a Jet fan, but still. Telford, Shillingford, Kimberly, Vinicius, Cristello, Twisted, Hollywood Rules. You are all channel members. B. Miller, Nate Owl, Lenny, Addie NY, and Jameson Young. You are all channel members. Reed Thompson, Randy Pratt, you're channel members. Breamhole Smashed In, you're a channel member. Garrett Clemens, you're a channel member. ZStreet.C, channel member. Mark Senna, channel member. Keyboard Warrior, channel member. Colt Sievers, channel member. Briscoe, channel member. Subrata Mandel, channel member. And now we get to Williams channel members here. These are from William Sprague. So thank William. Consider paying it forward to your fellow Asmaniac. Oswald Deho, DeBoyge Sakar, Matthew Sereno, James Rose, Ray Bar Invest. You are all channel members. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike D's Nuts has given 5 channel memberships. You know what that means.
Hey, thank you, Mike D's Nuts, for another gifted membership.
Yeah. Arian Novag, Mills, Trilly Trill, Iron Chin, Ragnar. You are all memberships. All right. And then last but not least, this Jake Asman guy gifted 5 memberships to the community as well.
What a guy.
Noah Myers, Ryan Adhern, Jeff Bruno, Matt Schneider, Abe Eckstein. You are all channel members. It is raining channel memberships. We went from 0 to 35 real quick, baby. Let's go. That's not all. We're not done. William, another 5. Oh, yeah. Here we go. The 5 from William. Jet Blues, the Nash, Man, Bear, Pig, Rounders, William Felice. You are all channel members. Love it. Incredible. Best fans in sports. I continue to say it.
That was quick, man. That was in 5 minutes, dude.
That was unreal. Unreal. Yeah. More calls before we wrap with our guy Frankie from uStadium. Ladies and gentlemen, Purple Belt Mike joins us. What's up, Mike?
Yo, what's up? How's it going?
What's up, Mike? How are you?
What's up, man?
What I don't get, all the teams I root for are always getting like just dunked on, but no one dunks on the Jets more than anybody else. And it's not like we're the Browns where we've never had a history of winning anything. Why is it? Why are the Jets the number one target for all the media across the board? Even when we had Rex Ryan, they're talking about the feet, and then it was all this stuff. Like, why is it always the Jets, the top target?
I have a little bit of a theory.
Yeah, you can take this one. I've talked about this with Mike before, so this is definitely directed for you.
Yeah. I have a theory. I think there's two things going on. I think the ownership groups that the Jets have had with Hess and then Woody Johnson, they've rubbed a lot of people the wrong way over the last 50 years. You're talking. They're companies with stuff that they've done behind the scenes. Woody, again, getting back this political thing, where he aligns. They're gonna constantly be attacking this guy and his team. So that's one reason that I don't think gets brought up enough of. And two, the Giants are just a boring team. Like, the Giants never really have much coming out there. They're like a kind of like a hush sort of franchise. They need to get as much as they can out of New York, and the Giants never really gave them much. So I think the Jets are always that team. It's like the Mets with the Yankees. They're just the team that you can just as an outlet, hang your hat on and say that we're just going to, sell as much negativity to their fans and then the media world as possible. That's my theory. You have the Giants, Yankees, and you have the Jets, Mets, and then the ownership group of the Jets for a long time have just pissed off a lot of people the wrong way. So I think that kind of plays into it. But the Knicks get it too, though. What the Knicks we have 3 teams in New York that really get it like that.
The Mets. Yeah, I mean, and the only way to change the narrative is just to win consistently. And also, I think the Jets get heightened too, Mike, because football is the most popular sport in the country. And I also think it's heightened too because Aaron Rodgers is a lightning rod.
Well, I think that the right guy to turn it all around and that will actually harness it is Aaron. I can't picture a better guy for us to do it.
I agree with you. I think he's built to handle playing with pressure on him and a chip on his shoulder. And he has all that and more this season.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I do think they're going to come after him hard, though, this year. I just think the more we win, the bigger the games are. I just and he'll be ready for it. And I love the negativity that they're bringing on to him. He has, from day one, he has always been able to play better and exceed expectations when he has a chip on his shoulder. That happened on draft day. It happened with Brett. It happened when they drafted Jordan Love. He won those 2 MVPs. He likes when everyone's doubting him and everyone's sort of pointing their finger at him. That's how he thrives in that. So keep it coming for him, honestly.
Love it. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is a man who gifted 20 Asmaniac memberships when we needed it. Ladies and gentlemen, a 2-time heart attack survivor, a man who will be at our Long Island meetup 1 week from today. Dre in the office joins us now. Hello, Dre.
How you doing, Jake, my brother? Frankie, my brother. How you doing? Good to meet you.
What's up, man? Good to meet you too, dude.
Hey, so what are we talking? They talking crap about the Jets. What else is new? Oh, so this is a normal Thursday. Is that what we're saying? This is a regular Thursday where the media is gonna be running their mouth. And first of all, Hawk, I paid Jake, so get out my business.
Yeah, no, shout out to Dre. Dre found money in the budget to pay for his Texas ticket, so he's officially going. Let's go.
Oh. Listen, all I can say is the media is gonna run their mouth. They don't know what they're talking about, and it's the same old tired. It's the same old tired LOL Jets. At this point, I could talk to blue in the face. Jake could talk to he's red in the face, and we'll be here all day, and they'll still be talking their smack. The only way they shut up is when Aaron Rodgers leads our boys down, and we're looking now. I'm not Neil, so I can't subscribe to 17-0. I would love for that to happen. But real talk is more. I would not be surprised if we end up 15-2. Last year I said 14-3 with the team that we had comprised then, and I kind of still stand by it. But I don't want to tempt fate, and I feel like I was talking out my butt, and that's why Aaron got hurt. So I'm taking responsibility. Had I shut up and not said anything all summer last year, maybe Aaron doesn't go down after 4 plays. But I kind of ran my mouth a little loud, because I felt justified. This year, we're going to be very calm, very quiet. I'm going to quietly work on my cardiac rehab, get ready for the season. And you know what? When it just starts happening, I'm just going to look at people and say, like, I'm going to zip my mouth and like, hey, I got done with talking. My guys just wanted to show and prove. And like all of my family members that talking smack about the Giants, this, that, and the third, I'm taking my little brother to the Snoopy Bowl during the preseason, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna go so you can see your quarterback not play." Because I'm like, "Damn right, Aaron doesn't need to come out for a drive or nothing. Just leave him in there. He knows what he's doing. We'll see him week 1. Let Tyrod get in there, get all the reps. Let Tyrod do it." And I told my boy, I said, I'm gonna watch my team smack your team, and that's good enough for me. So long as I see green Jets jerseys winning and beating up on Giants jerseys, I don't care if it's Pee Wee League. My team beat your team. That's how we're gonna treat it.
I love it. Drake, appreciate the call as always. The donation, 20 memberships. Shout out to you, my man.
You know I got you, brother. Let's go. JETS, Jets.
Drake checking in from the office. How about it? Love it. One of the all-time greats. I met Dre in person at our Alden shoe sale competition. And
oh yeah, what was the deal with that? There was a tie or somebody won by 1, but they returned it. How did that play out? I didn't follow up with that.
Neil won, but one of the shoes he sold to a customer returned it the next day. So there's some controversy.
So it's considered a tie or not?
It would be a tie if we don't count the sale because it was returned. Neil won because we didn't have a stipulation about returns, but it does set up quite the interesting showdown for running it back. Now,
that's funny.
What I wanted to say though about Dre is specifically he was ready to fight some Indiana Pacer fans at the sports bar we went to after the shoe sale competition because the Pacer fans were running their mouth during game 3 of the second round that night.
Oh man, that entire series was just a catastrophe. I think what was it, game 4 where Indiana beat us up a little bit. I think they finally weren't, as they say, like scared of the bully no longer. Like when you kind of punch the bully in the mouth. And then, listen, I mean, I know you're a big Knicks guy and you cover the Knicks. We could have won it this year, man, if we stayed healthy. I'll stand by that. This finals is terrible.
Awful.
It's really one of the worst finals I've seen in a while. Both these teams, I feel like, don't even deserve to be in the finals. Maybe the Celtics do, but there should have been a better team out of the West to sort of be like that team. But hey, good for Boston. I hate saying that. I can't believe I'm saying that, but whatever. They won a cheapish ring. It is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike D's Nuts is
wow.
back with 10, count it, 10 more memberships. It's a D's Nuts drop.
Bang! Thank you, Mike D's Nuts, for another gifted membership.
I'll never not laugh when I see that.
Oh, you had to laugh.
You can play that like 20 times in a row.
I've done that before because Mike D's Nuts has made it rain like that. It's insane. A, drums, Admiral Akbar CEO. That is a great YouTube name, Admiral Akbar. Shout out to Star Wars. Dan422, Curtis Hardy, Nigel Mayard, Jarvis Highland, Mark Rich, Jace MMA. You guys are all channel members. Congratulations, and thank the man known as Mike D's Nuts. All right, another call here, and then we will wrap with Frankie. Gary, what do you got for us?
Hey, wait, 1 second. Hang on. My bad. Oh,
Gary,
man.
What's wrong, Gary?
No. Hey, did you do a morning show today, Jake?
Yeah. Where were you?
I don't know. I guess I missed it. I mean, I can go back and watch it. I mean, YouTube saves him forever. I didn't see it.
Too many hits to the head.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac.
I think so.
What'd you think of my my dinner last night, Gary? I put it in the Discord. I had some delicious chicken parm with pasta.
Chicken and pasta. Anything with chicken and pasta is
Look at
not
this meal. Just tremendous. Look at that, Gary.
Like if I showed you pineapple and pizza, like you're gonna be irritated by it. Like, why would you do that, right? But like, I mean, it's a free country. You can eat it if you want. You know, I'm not gonna be taking food recommendations from you, but you can eat chicken and pasta if you want.
You know who I had dinner with
stand
last
Gary
night?
a little here, Jake. I must say, I'm just.
You don't like
know.
chicken parm, or you don't like chicken and pasta?
I do and I don't. I used to like it more when I was younger. I feel like now I'm kind of
okay, but that like Gary's take is that it's disgusting. It doesn't go together. That doesn't make any sense. You don't agree with him on that.
I think where Gary's coming from is it is true that in Italy, my parents are from Italy. I used to go a lot.
Where about are you from? My mom is from Sicily. Where Sicily? Where's your mom? Where are your parents from?
My dad's from Calabria and my mom's from outside of Naples.
Okay.
They don't do chicken and cheese or chicken and pasta together. It's like sacrilegious over there. They like refuse to do that. But I will say, listen, a good chicken parm is good. There's you can't deny it. I mean, but it's funny. We're having an argument in my group chat where we have a friend who's trying to play like up this food snob thing. And he goes, if I ever go to a restaurant and someone orders a chicken parm or penny vodka, I'm going to instantly get up and leave. Like he's insane. And everyone's like, you're not going anywhere.
Hey, Gary.
This has been going on for like 5 days, by the way. So it's funny that like you guys are talking about it.
Gary.
What's that?
You were on the morning show today. You don't remember this?
I was on the morning show?
You called in. We talked about the Mets this morning.
Jake, I believe you. Sometimes my daughter will say, "Yeah, you told me I could do this," and when I didn't, like, are you messing with me, or was I actually on the show?
No,
Jake, my memory's totally shot, bro.
I had forgotten you called in because I get a lot of calls. I'm watching the Clay Holmes blow this game, and but then I started thinking about what you said. You not only were on the show, you had like a 5-minute call this morning, and we talked about the Mets.
The Mets are doing okay.
Gary.
They're doing this. I mean, look, I still hate that team, and they're still going to finish with 100 losses.
Lay off.
They're doing okay.
Lay off the gas station pizza.
Jake, my bad, bro. I'm telling you, my memory is shot, bro. Like I believe you. I'm not saying that you're trolling me, but I don't have any recollection of that. My kids do it to me. My kids will tell me, you said I could do this. I'm like, I said that? Like, I never said that. Well,
Gary, you might not remember this, but excellent call. Thank you.
Chicken doesn't go with pasta. Don't you know it's disgusting? Chicken can't go with pasta. Why? Because of the texture. Instead, go get yourself pizza at the closest Shell gas station, because chicken don't go with pasta. I just discovered dogs are pets.
Amazing. He called in this morning.
Did he really?
Yes, for like 5 minutes. I brought up the Met jersey he was wearing and how they were playing better, and he's like, I just want them to be around 500. Can't even do that. The whole conversation. The chat was all over. Shout out to the chat. I was distracted watching Clay Holmes blow the save just now. The Yankees actually lost a game, but
he blew it. What was the score?
I guess they scored 2 in the 9th, so 4-3.
Oh, they did. All right.
They took 3 out of 4.
Man, Clay, man, I don't know. I'm not sold yet that he can be the guy to close games for us down the stretch. But I mean, there's not many closers that you could say that for. So I guess it is what it is.
Yep. Man, Gary, I can't believe you forgot you called in this morning. That's unreal.
That's funny.
His take, I understand it's like an Italian thing that like they don't do that in Italy, but he's like berating the idea that you can't have chicken and pasta. And I'm like, Gary, that's insane. He said it's the equivalent of peanut butter and salmon. I'm like, you're nuts. That's just not true.
Yeah. But, listen, there is something to be. I mean, there's American food, there's Italian American food. It's a different kind of cuisine, and you can't say it's bad just because you want to like uphold some like standard that they have in Italy, which can be overplayed there as well, if we're being honest. But
The other take he had that is outrageous is that he would eat something. He would have gas station pizza over any item from Wendy's, McDonald's, or Burger King.
He realizes gas station pizza is probably worse than most of those menu items that you just listed. Gas station pizza is like got nothing in it. Like it's just literally like processed crap, but whatever.
Gross. Man. Unreal. All right. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. I don't think we did. Frankie, any final thoughts? Where can people find your work at uStadium?
Appreciate you, Jake. Always, man. You're always the best. Yeah, Frankie Vitz on Twitter. You can check out some of my rants. I sort of took a little bit of a hiatus after the draft. I don't get into this practice stuff too much, Jake. I've seen as I was saying in the rant yesterday, I've seen guys that people have talked up as being potential, game changers for the Jets that never stepped on the field. I remember the Jets West camp with Sanchez, yada yada. I want to wait until week 1. So I'm kind of taking a little bit of a step back, but I'll get more into it this summer, and I'm sure the storylines will keep coming, so that'll never end. But yeah, you can follow me at Frankie Vitz on Twitter. I drop videos every once in a while, and my team at uStadium. We have a sports app. You can make predictions with points, sort of like your own sports bet. Points convert to cash. So we're keeping that up, and we're starting to do some really cool updates. So yeah, hit us up on there if you want some free points. Wink, wink. Just DM us, and maybe we'll get you up and starting. But last point I wanted to make is with this record stuff, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, come out with a video dropping your record prediction." I don't know. I don't know what games we're gonna win. I'll say this: we're gonna win games that we thought we'd lose, and we're going to lose games that we should have won. So I know that for sure. Like, we could beat San Francisco. I actually think we're going to beat San Francisco. And it's the Jets. It's weird. But I think we could lose to New England on the opener. It's just like a weird thing with us. I'm just saying, like that's possible. So to be like, oh, we're going to lose to San Francisco and beat New England. For us, it could easily happen the other way. We beat San Francisco and we lose to New England on that Thursday night. Like, it's possible.
Well, they could beat San Francisco and then short week lose to the Titans on the road, week 2.
Yeah, better stated. Yes, that I think actually is going to happen.
I don't know how I'd feel about
that's that. That's so us to win that first game and be like, oh, we're ready. We're going to win it this year. Yada. And then we lose on a short week to the Titans just to get back down to,
yeah,
just level us back out.
They better beat New England. I agree. I want blood in that game too. I want to destroy them. I want blood.
No, I agree. We have to just pounce on them, run up the score, do whatever we can. We have to make that a statement game for the season. But I think we're
5 AFC East champions, Frankie.
Listen, I'll say this. I just want to make the playoffs because I think if we make the playoffs, this team, they're going to be dangerous because they're going to officially, at that point, I think they're going to gel together. A lot of new pieces. Let's just get in the dance.
Let's do a home playoff game, man. Let's be at home. Let's win the division, man. We got Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe I'm underselling it a little. All right, yeah, let's go. All right. I don't know what the record's going to be. I want a home playoff game. But, Jake, it's about making the playoffs. I'm telling you, if this team just makes the playoffs, they're going to be, a force to reckon with, I think.
Frankie, excellent job out of you. We'll get you on again soon. I'm sure closer to training camp. And who knows what the next dramatic storyline will be overblown by the media. But when that happens, I'm sure we'll talk about it.
I'll be out there, man. Thanks for having me on always, Jake. You're the best, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie B. My name is Jake Asman. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Join us on Patreon if you want bonus content. Also, calling all business owners. I am looking for you to sponsor the Jake Asman Show ahead of the football season. Email me, asmanjake@gmail.com. If you're interested, we have sponsorship packages for your brand or business. So check that out if you are interested. All right. Without further ado, I present the great Purple Belt Mike.
Yo, check it out, Jet fans. As Maniacs unite. They got 60 seconds to rap for Jake. The Jets are winning the chip. There is no debate. The callers on the show are absolutely the best. Let's see if these green bars can pass the test. You got Bobby Midnight hooking up B-Mac. Allen, there's no fires to put out on this track. I just hope it doesn't go down south. Maybe we'll find out they hooked up on Chief Band's couch. It's the Jake Asman Show. You'll already know what to do. Smash the like button like Bonesy sells shoes. Neil is shirtless, smoking on a cigar, while Harvey is jamming on a brand new guitar. Knoble is the prodigy to future MVP. He can sleep as much as the men on TV. Scott is chasing ducks and calling them ladies, while Gary wishes he birthed Brock Bowers Davies. Purple belt Mike is out. One last mission. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets will guillotine the league. Submission.
Yeah.